Right, that'll do, I think. Right, okay. Well, we've been recording for the past like 3 minutes anyway. Um, right.
What did you say? We've been recording for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Just stick this at the start.
These will be some nice bloopers. Right. So, hello everybody. This is the first, I would say, Outlaw interview, in which we're doing both dressed for the occasion and being more presentable than I in the origin shirt with the makeshift tie. But this is the first one, and let's start off with who the devil are you? Who the devil are
Who the
you?
devil am I?
Introduce
Well,
yourself.
My name is Ben Paul Rees. Whoa, actor in Bristol. And yeah, I'm an actor in Bristol, actor and writer and producer, technically director, technically.
Tick them all off, tick them all off.
Just tick all the boxes, yeah.
Well, yeah, Ben, we've known each other a long time, have we not?
Yeah. So we first met when we were 6. When we were in year 6, when we were 11. So
yeah, a long time ago.
Long time ago, when I was bumped up a table. I think it was when I was bumped up a table, and then thought, "Oh, who's this cool geezer next to me?"
It wouldn't have been me if you were bumped up the table. It would have been me if you were bumped down the table. I'll tell you that. But yeah, we've known each other for years, and I think the first project we worked on together was the Bad Reputation music video, where I got you up as a clown goon. And we did a little bit of a fight scene, which was brilliant because I've still got all the footage, which I hope to now overlay over this conversation. There was a few stories. It was quite funny because we're trying to deflect these baseball bat hit, and one of them I slipped and you accidentally hit my arm or something.
Did I?
Dead. Yeah, I think you can see, I think you can see it in the footage because I'm like bam, 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 and I do one and then just like hits my arm. I was like but it looked good.
I'm surprised you let me back on, but do you know what? I'll take that.
That was the first one. That was in 2015 then.
Oh my gosh.
So that was 5 years
ago. 6 years, roughly.
Coming up to 6 then. And we did another Red Hood tester thing as well, in which we were limited with the characters in which we had. I took a step of actually directing and not being in it for once. And then we got a good friend Greg to be Red Hood, our very makeshift Red Hood costume, with yourself and Jack as goons, but we needed to obviously make it look like there were more than 2 of you. So we tried to by making you and Jack take it in turns wearing a balaclava in different scenes, so it looked like there were more people. And basically, it was I
watched it again. I was like, hang on, that was me. And that was, I've died 3 times in this, and now I'm Black Mask.
Then you disappear at Black Mask at the end. It's brilliant because of how utterly terrible it is. I mean, it's just brilliant. Then after that is when I left college then and I started working, and then you obviously at that point I think probably moved to Bristol and started doing your course. So
roughly around about that time.
Yeah, so for a good few years we didn't really keep in contact at all or anything until one day I can't remember exactly what sparked it, but we started having a chit chat and a catch up again. And I was obviously in the process.
I think you said on your story, I'm coming to Bristol, and I was like, hello, friend.
Oh, right. Yes, that might make more sense. So then obviously we started chatting, and then I was in the middle of going over like draft, God knows what, of Red Hood Origins. This thing.
Whoa!
And
merchandise.
And obviously we started speaking and saying, and I like to kind of go full circle with things and have everyone who, you know, how we started doing our stupid little videos way back when to have back. So I was like, I'll write him in as this character or whatever. And then I thought, no, that's just a stupid little side character. And then I was watching Batman Begins, and to get a rough kind of poor example of like an origin story to go with the thing and all this jazz. Anyway, I watched it, and Scarecrow is played by one Cillian Murphy, or Killian Murphy, however you say his name, and it twigged in my head that he kind of looks a bit like Ben, or vice versa.
Yeah, kind of. Not as much now though.
But beforehand, so it clicked, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, I reckon he can definitely do this, as well as the kind of vision of Scarecrow that I had in mind anyway. And then we met up, started talking about that, and then after, I think this was like halfway through issue 1, we'd already had written thing and planned issue 2 then, so that's why issue 2 came so soon after issue 1, which is obviously good for us. But it was just like got you in on the roll, and obviously the rest is history. So yeah, well, the main reason why I guess that all these lovely people are watching is because Scarecrow, obviously, you've kicked down the door that is the Scarecrow role and made it into the Outlaw verse. So maybe we'll just talk about a bit about that. What was it like? Maybe like doing preparation or anything for the role. What's it like being the spooky boy?
What was it like being Scarecrow? Well, I looked into the role. I looked online because thankfully, because you've got YouTube, you can just look into all of this stuff, and you can look into all these videos online. And I mainly looked at variants, which pretty much summed up the whole of the Scarecrow origin for me. So that was basically the only video I watched. I watched a couple more videos. You sent me a couple of videos, so I looked into that. But the difficult thing was with figuring out the characters that there are 3 backstories. So you've got the one with his grandmother, where his dad's dead, his mother abandoned him, so he's left with his grandma, who's got this concoction of who, whenever he misbehaves, she takes him to the church, makes a concoction that attracts crows, and just sticks them in this, and like sticks it in the suit that he's wearing,
right? Yeah.
So that the crows come for him afterwards. So there was that story. And there's the other one. There's the New 52 variant with his dad, where he stays with his dad. His mother's dead, or didn't love his dad, moved away, something like that. And his dad's concocting a fear toxin for the US government, and then he's experimenting on Scarecrow by Jonathan Crane, by leaving him in the basement, by giving him skeletons, spooky kind of dead bodies and all these masks.
It was something to do with that that type of thing. It was like trying to get over your fears by constantly putting you
habituation.
That's the word.
Habituation.
Yeah.
See, look.
Yeah.
But he was because when after that his dad eventually dies, he's locked in the basement. Luckily the police find him, and then he's taken, dying. And when he goes to school, he's bullied, so he stays on his own, reads a lot, studies chemistry, becomes like at one with toxins and stuff, and then knows the stuff about chemistry, and then becomes a professor. And then when he becomes a professor, he's kicked out for doing habituation. So like if someone has a fear of arachnophobia, he'll pour spiders on them. And habituation, so it's like when faced with your fear and actually faced with it, you go flight or fight situation.
Yes, yeah.
And so even if people do have the flight situation, eventually they'll have the fight situation. And then that was the other variant. And then the third one, which I didn't really tap into too much, is the Yellow Lantern Corpse, where Scarecrow is given a yellow ring.
I've seen pictures of it, and it looks really cool because obviously the yellow ring is based off fear. So, yeah. But I've not read it though. But
yeah, no, I haven't read it. I can't really find the comics online. It's difficult to get your hands on them. I mean, maybe I could have done, but I don't know. I find it difficult to find all the comics online. I feel like you've got to go to a store if you want to find a comic.
Yeah, you can't be an old-fashioned physical comic in your hand.
Yeah, unfortunately not. And I just tried to combine all 3 of those stories a little bit. The only one I took out of the Yellow Lantern Corpse was that he fears Batman, but that didn't really apply in the end. So I just thought, do you know what? He's stayed with his grandmother, then he accidentally kills his grandmother in the end, so he has to move with his father, who experiments on him. And with those lessons, along with what he learns from chemistry, provides him with the knowledge he needs to make the fear toxin.
Yeah.
And because of the trauma done to him as a child, that develops sociopathy, which leads into him not caring about other people, but just being excited to kind of like experiment and play with what people fear.
Yeah.
And I think maybe he gets a gratification out of seeing what people fear, and also when they surpass their fear. And then if they die, he's just annoyed. And he's just like, oh, because my work's failed. He doesn't care whether or not they've died.
It's just for his work, basically. And I think we've touched upon that with what little has been shown, with like the line, like, most interesting and stuff like that. Like, obviously he's watching, and obviously we put in the fact that Scarecrow was there with like a camcorder recording it, so he's watching it over like for scientific purposes, and kind of watching it back and everything like that. But yeah, what kind of, apart from research stuff, what other preparation was there? Because I remember you briefly telling me about a few bits and bobs when we first started talking about it, but I can't remember if you stuck with them or.
In terms of like preparation for the role, I practiced a voice. I tried to practice movements and caricatural kind of aspects to it, because I've never done like that much of a caricature before. And I wanted to develop the caricature hardcore beforehand so that I wasn't thinking about it too much whilst I was performing.
Yeah.
And then some elements, and then it was that kind of toss up between when I did it. I watched it back, and some of the caricature elements I missed. But, when you're acting, you can't think I'm trying to be a caricature. You just got to try and ingrain it into your brain beforehand. And so it was really fun to kind of like try and push my body into something where I'm not thinking in screen acting, because I also applied some of the work I've done with scare acting before. So I've done scare acting work at Hell in a Cell. I've done scare acting work at Fear for 2 years, which is just horror mazes. So people go around and just scare them for 8 hours.
Well, it was actually funny because I didn't. You told me that after I'd like said about the role to you, and you're like, "Oh, I've done scare acting," and I was like, "Oh, is this what it is? Written in the stars or what?" Like, I was just like, "Oh, that's the thing." And obviously, you telling me about that, and it's like, you can tell that you've, if you were to obviously incorporate what you did with Scarecrow into previous work you've done, I would not want to be in one of them mazes. I'll tell you that for free.
Yeah. Well, that's what I thought. I incorporated some of the previous work I'd done. Like, for instance, the voice, just the sound I made when Scarecrow gets up, and just, when he's got a burgundy hoodie on.
Yeah.
In the middle of nowhere.
Oh, yeah.
And just some other elements, just that, like, just the ability to kind of switch it and just do those kind of absurd body movements. The only difference is when I'm doing it in a horror maze, it's the bigger the better. So it's just kind of letting it go loose and just being loud and big with every movement. Whereas with this, it was because I haven't done much screen acting, I was trying to refine it more. And although I've been trained in screen acting through uni, I was trying to be careful, because I'd developed this caricature, but I didn't want to go too over the top for a screen performance, because although little kind of movements can make people uncomfortable, there's a point where it gets too much. So it was just kind of finding that balance in between as well. And kind of adapting the scare acting performances for theatre into a semi-similar scare acting performance for screen, which I had a lot of fun with doing, and I had a lot of fun making the character.
That's the thing. I kind of had this rough idea, but everything that I was saying to you were like, as if you were saying, you were in my head and you were saying what I was already thinking. So I knew that we were both on the same page. So that's why I said to you, I was like, right, here's some videos. Just go. You do you. And like come up with that. Look, how you were saying about with the scare maze, that kind of like toning it down and stuff. Obviously you're not allowed to physically touch people in like scare maze and stuff, because it's all the public. Whereas me, I told you the opposite. I knew your the way you were going to be with it, and I wanted it to look legit, as if I'm actually scared, then the viewers are going to believe it.
Yeah.
So
it felt weird getting that. It felt weird though, thinking, "Oh, I've got it." You know, with the needle as well.
Yeah.
That felt weird getting that close as well, because when I'd get the needle that close, I was like, "Oh dear, oh dear." And then literally the first time we did it,
yeah,
I was like,
yes, yeah. Basically, obviously, I was like, "What do you fear?" And you're like, you take the needle out and you're waving it about. We got real needles basically, because it was I think it was £120 for one fake needle, which is what they use on actual films, where it's like it retracts as it goes in, so it actually looks like. We don't have that kind of money, unfortunately.
No.
So we got fake needles, and I said to them, because
we got real needles.
Yeah, I've got real needles. Okay, I'll be careful. I said, no, I know you're going to wave it around my neck and such. That's absolutely fine, and whatever, obviously just don't inject it into me, because we had, I think it was paint and food coloring, so that wouldn't have been the best. But, it's like, oh no. But yeah, basically I was like, okay, you can wave it around the neck and you'll kind of drag it on my neck if you want. You're like, oh, okay, well, I'll try not to, whatever. Anyway, the first take we do with the needle, he does it, and I think you got it like literally just on my skin.
Yeah, there was no way. The needle was so sharp that there was no way I could have dragged that and it wouldn't have gone in. Like when I started dragging that, and it literally, just as soon as I touched the surface with it, it clipped in, and I was like, shit. And I was just and then I was looking around, like I think the scene where you're going, oh!
Yeah,
like, and then it was on Outlaw Films kind of real kind of blooper take, and Shane's going, cut. Cut.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm like, and you can see me there looking, but I'm not there looking because you're not stopping. I'm looking there because, oh no.
Yeah, because basically I felt like a little scratch on my neck. That's all. Like literally, I thought you were like kind of dragging it across the neck or whatever.
Oh,
and then I realized that you'd done that. In like a split second, I realized you'd done that, which you weren't supposed to. So then I was like, right, okay, make or break now. So I was like going, screaming, and then
I was like, and then when you were screaming, I was like, oh no. I was like, because it turns out you did some good acting, but I was there like, I
don't know. And then obviously we
is that fueled by my mistake?
Yeah, exactly. So it was like 50-50. Then
I was walking away because I was looking to the director thinking, oh, you haven't noticed. Is Luke actually angry with me? I don't know. I'm just going to walk away. You can see it if you watch the thing back on Outlaw Films, but the blooper take, I'm just walking away like, oh no, oh dear.
And then obviously he yelled cut and whatever, and they're like, oh, Luke, your neck's bleeding. I'm like, is it? I didn't even realize. And
when you said
just
that,
like a little bit bleeding, and then you, then I could tell that you were like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. I was like, listen, it's fine. I'm like, did we get it on camera? And then they were like, "Oh no,
I remember that was the first thing you said."
This literally, as long as you get it on camera, it's fine. They were like, "Oh, I don't know if we got it," and I was like, "Oh no!" But going through the footage, it's the shot we used, and it was obviously the first take. Because it's so dark, because we like
you don't see the blood.
You don't see the blood, and you don't see the physical needle go in. But if you were to actually watch it, I'll try and like zoom in on it, like on the video now. You can see it like there, and you're like, "Oh shit, it's close." And then obviously the shot after it. Was just behind my neck with the liquid like going out. Little fun movie making.
I found it funny that we had to use the first take of that. Funny story that the viewers might not know. When we first filmed it, I did a bit of an oopsie. Basically, I was meant to get the satchel had the syringes in it, and I was meant to find it, and then I just pulled it out, and it was just hay, and I was like, one of these days, one of these tries. And then it was just a long awkward pause. So I was like, I just like, it wasn't me thinking that. I was just, well, maybe it partly was, but I was thinking, because I came out and I was like, shit, what do I do now? So I just started decorating Robin with the hay, thinking, I think look at this.
The best photo of that is this. And I'm just there, just like, so done with it. And there's just hay everywhere. A few seconds in, when you started pulling it out, and then you started like looking at this hay, I was like, he's gonna put that on me, isn't he? He's gonna put it on me. And then he started like going in, and you put it all down the thing. And I was going like, I was trying so hard not to laugh. And I was like, oh, that's gonna itch in the morning. Like this, and like that, and then trying to do the next line and stuff. But
Oh,
yeah, that was it was brilliant.
I could tell when I was putting it on, I was like, oh, he doesn't like that, does he? Because it was so itchy. When I put the hay in, it was itchy, but I was like, I'll do it with the roll. I'll do it.
Yeah.
It's meant to be itchy, like having not, like kind of bare clothes and stuff, maybe not showered for a few days anyway. So I was like, oh, get into the roll. But when I was putting it on you, I was like, strap to a chair, have some hay, itchy hay.
You have it now.
Life. I don't know how you did it in that chair, strapped to the chair.
Well, yeah, I think I was just about to say this. I think the shoot, that scene in particular, that I think is about 2.5 minutes. I think it took us about 3 hours to shoot. For this, I told, obviously I needed to look as if I was strapped in a chair. So we got cable ties, duct tape, and I was stuck to this chair. And there's only so long you can sit on a chair for without your ass hurting. So it got to the 3 hour mark and whatever, and I was getting hangry. My ass was aching, and we were coming to the end of the shoot, and I was getting like a bit worked up and stuff. And then I remember the boy, I probably sounded like a dick, like an actual director then, because I was sat in a chair and I was like, yeah, okay, get the shot. And then the only remaining things I had to do was scream. So it was all right. But another funny story about that is basically we did loads of screaming takes, but we were actually filming this in my nan's garage, and the person next door obviously didn't like the fact that there was somebody screaming at high volume right next door. So we banged on the thing, and then actually at the end of it, there's silence, and it's like this tone deaf buzzing sound. That's because I'm not actually screaming. So we had to work around that. But I do like the idea, instead of just sharing constant screaming, it just like slowly goes out.
Yeah, it kind of fades out, kind of a nice diminuendo and like a finishing touch to the whole thing.
Yeah.
Or that kind of, the first part of it. Yeah. But also I remember when we were filming and I was going, oh, have you heard about bed sores? What? And you were like, oh, my bum's hurting a little bit. And I was like, oh, have you heard about bed sores? What? Oh, it's when you stay sat down for too long, you get these sores on your bum and they pop eventually and they're permanent. And you were like,
get me out of the chair.
He's trying to oh, it's pretty easy.
And stuff. But what I purposely did, because I think it might have helped you, or you might have preferred it. Basically, chucked Ben the other side of the curtain, and left him there by himself for like 10-15 minutes. I don't know why. I just thought if it was me, I would have preferred that. So you were kind of isolated.
Yeah, no, I did prefer that. I did like that.
And I haven't. There's so much stuff we haven't shown because we've not think. I've got like photos like here, which I'll show like that, and like because I told Kia, who was a makeup artist, who did amazing work on you.
Yeah, she did really good stuff.
Yeah, oh, brilliant. It was quick in the quick time lapse here, but yeah, it took a good while, didn't it? That makeup. But it was obviously coming down to the time when we needed to shoot and stuff. Or if we could have, you would have been plastered in them. But that's.
But it was a long day, wasn't it?
It was a long day as well. Yeah.
From like 10 till 8. I want to say it was quite late. It was really, in fact, maybe 9 o'clock. It was 11 hours.
Yeah, it was like a whole day because I think we spent about, after the time we set up and had recorded everything of that 2.5 scene, that was probably about 4 or 5 hours. Then I went and did grub for everyone. And I noticed you didn't have anything, and you would stay and doing your monologue thing. So I thought that was a little acting thing as well. Because I offered you about 3 or 4 times. I felt terrible because I was so hungry. I had like
I wanted to fast and see how that kind of affected my performance, just because I was interested to see what happened. And then I don't know if it did anything or not. I'm watching I don't know.
It did. It was brilliant. And then that was obviously like another hour or so. Well, I'd say 2 hours maybe. I had a good break, and then we filmed the ending of like Scarecrow doing the monologue, which I didn't even write into the script. It was something that you'd done a rough monologue of something, like doing your say something like this, and I was like, I like the sound of that, it's going to go in. You're like, what? And then tweaked it a few bits, and then obviously it was the last like bulk.
Well, I remember when I did it, I ad-libbed a bit of it because I thought, I'll ad-lib it. And yeah, on the spot, I was looking at that and I was thinking, yeah, I might add in a few little bits, but I reckon I should have wrote it down beforehand, because when I was ad-libbing it, I noticed like a slight stutter when I was doing it, and I was like, what is the point of doing? There's like a whole section where I just ad-lib, and I'm just like, da 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 da. And after I ad-libbed, I was like, yeah, nah, I should have wrote it down beforehand, because I kind of messed the sentence up. But it's all right, because no one's noticed this until they've watched this video, so that's all right.
Yeah, there we go. Exactly. That's the thing. You're your own worst critic, aren't you?
Yeah, like, that's the one.
Weak and everything, but that was obviously the bulk of it, and it was supposed to be kind of like the monologue along the lines of, what is Robin, what he's doing, is it right, is it wrong? Because obviously that's the whole dynamic.
Well, I just felt like that'd be a nice. Well, when we were talking about the scene, and to begin with, when I read the script, I got what the scene was, but I kind of like felt like the point of it was, this is a big turning point for Robin. So when I and I just had the idea for the monologue. I just thought, whether Scarecrow says it or not, it's just a good monologue to stick in somewhere as a kind of big turning point for the character. And I really liked that scene you did with the punching the thief. I didn't know you were going to do that, and I saw that, and I was like, oh.
Well, originally in the script, though, it was going to be like the aftermath of Robin coming back from this. So obviously at the end, originally Batman was supposed to save him, and there was going to be a scene of like Robin in the Batmobile, with Batman like very disconcerted because he's run off and got enough Scarecrow, and then Robin back, and he's like all messed up in his head with like he's in the shower reflecting on this.
Yeah.
There would have been a scene with like him and Artemis like sleeping in bed, and then he wakes up and has a nightmare about it, like literally just the exact same scene from Revenge of the Sith, when Anakin has his nightmare and wakes up and Padme's in the bed. Would have been that and everything, but after the way it's on the when it was all editing together and stuff, it just didn't feel right. I didn't know, it would have seemed like a bit of a thing. So I was thinking of, at the time as well, when I was editing it, I was thinking of doing a Christmas fight scene. I was doing one of 1 million scripts, and I thought of this like short fight scene thing, and then I was like, wait a minute, what if that was in the end of this instead? And then obviously it worked really well, because
it worked. Yeah, it worked
it's
really
like
well.
Robin's just come back from obviously this ordeal. He's messed in the head, and then he's like, oh, this person's just killed someone with a gun. Bam, 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 or rob them or whatnot.
When you
and then
punch,
he just
punch, I was like, oh, this is hardcore. This is serious. But like, I felt as well that would have been so much better than just seeing Scarecrow with a phone.
But I just like that single shot of you speaking into the phone, recording it, and then it like he slow zooms in. I actually had to do them because everyone was recording it, and I was actually holding a light around the corner, and you saw me in the shot. I saw myself holding the light, and then so that's why I started doing those zooms, because I was. I
remember you saying that. I remember when when we were filming the thing, and you were just over the end like.
Yeah. And then I was trying to get like behind the scenes footage as well, so I'm there like this, like.
No, I remember that. I remember you outstretched, like,
falling into a Christmas tree and everything. But
you did. Oh no, I remember that. That was just, it was just hilarious though. Like at the very end, it was just everyone's like, right, you're in shot. Yeah. Although the zoom in works. And you know what? No one noticed you. Like I never noticed you.
I'm blending in to the darkness.
So you were a mannequin, as far as anyone's concerned. He likes mannequins, you know.
Yeah.
So it works in with the New 52 variant origin, where he was stuck in with mannequins. Maybe they became his best friends.
Yeah.
You know. Maybe
who
he
knows?
talks to them. Yeah.
Who knows?
Like Umbrella Academy. Like whoa. Yeah,
whoa.
he could have talked to them like Five spoke to the mannequins in Umbrella Academy. So yeah. Who knows? Anyway, I'm just chatting rubbish. We zoomed in. It's done.
We zoomed in. It's done. But yeah, I think that covers everything that we were briefly touching upon. Or you were Scarecrow in part 1 when you're Dr. Crane. When basically Robin goes to a cry of help and then sees Dr. Basically, we didn't get. We're originally going to have another part for this. There was going to be more of a detective element to this. but we didn't do it because of COVID and everything, but we did what we did. So one day we would like to do like an extended cut, because it would have been probably another like 7 minutes. So like a big chunky object, and obviously it's called You're No Dick Grayson, and he was supposed to be in it originally. So I don't think that's a spoiler, because basically the title was going to be like, Dick Grayson. Everyone's Dick Grayson, and he's in it. Obviously, you would have seen him. Artemis obviously makes her first appearance as well. Which one thing I'm going to just brush up on now is our lore, Dutch. So I think we'll do a full breakdown in a separate video, because there's so much to go over. But obviously Artemis makes her debut in this video, like I just said, and she's at this moment in the universe now. She's Batgirl isn't, Oracle say. We've got Artemis basically, and she's filling in that position, and she's been sent to Gotham under what's his name, Bruce Wayne, to live with Bruce Wayne, sorry, from Diana, because she's going off the rails a bit. She's a bit prone to violence. She's she's where's she from? What's Banner Migdal?
Amazon,
like a
Amazonian.
She's an Amazonian, but she's from Banner Migdal, not Themyscira, which is where Wonder Woman.
Right. Okay.
And basically, obviously, Artemis and Jason Todd have like a relationship and everything in Rebirth with everything. But in our universe, she's introduced now whilst Jason Todd is Robin, and the two are dating. Henceforth, why there was going to be a scene to solidify that, they are a couple, like obviously hinted at that they are and stuff. And she obviously plays into Red Hood Origins, the film and stuff. So she makes her first appearance. And then obviously you make your first appearance in this as well, which is the first time that Scarecrow is introduced to the new Boy Wonder, which is Todd Robin 2.0. And when you are Jonathan Crane beforehand, and obviously that's you luring the fear toxin on the first time to get him to be abducted and such. But in our universe, then obviously Scarecrow is a little younger. So obviously you'd normally be older, but we like the idea that obviously because we are the same age, but I'm playing like 17, 18-year-old Robin, then you'd be like kind of like your actual age now, like kind of
Well,
fresh.
I mean, people tell me I look a bit older than I am.
Yeah, well, I think because you can't like put a pin on it. You obviously like we are the exact, kind of same age and stuff. It does work.
Yeah.
And
if you shave, like, if we shave, we look about 17, 18.
So
but but I've grown a beard, so I think that's why some people think I'm 30 or 40 nowadays. I don't know why, but people have said that. I commonly get 30 or 28, and I'm like,
thanks.
I'm young.
But
a big forehead, not a receding hairline.
But it obviously works into the fact that with Scarecrow, I didn't want to give Scarecrow a full mask because we wouldn't have seen all of your performance. We wouldn't have Christopher Nolan and just chucked, like he does with Tom Hardy, and just chucked a mask on him in like every film. Wanted to see some of your face, and then obviously it hints at that you got Scarecrow mask on, but there's a hole missing to see your face. You're not fully Scarecrow yet, and obviously because this is a young Scarecrow, so it ties into that. So there was a lot of detail going into that. The mask was originally a Batman Begins one, like Scarecrow one, but it looked too nice. So we done a lot of tea stain in it, coffee stain in it, made it look all gross and used and everything. Cut that big hole out for your face, and obviously see you. So you can see in the costume like the attention to detail that we've put to keep it like basic, then not, it's like, oh, that's Scarecrow from so and so or something. Like there are similarities and homages, but that's that. As you so I think
you spent a while on the costume though, didn't we? Kind of like doing our own take on it.
We did put a lot of thought in it with regards to like when we did the test footage, you were topless. And then we kind of liked that idea, didn't we? And then I was like, oh, what if instead of the clothing, you will wear it, like all these scars and stuff. So that's where the ideas came from. That, and then obviously you got the doctor's coat, but it's not brand new and white. It's obviously old and aged. And then you've just the only thing of Dr. Crane left are the shoes and the trousers,
suit pants.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, did I just suit trousers? Suit trousers.
Getting too much into the role. And
that's what it is. Too, sometimes when I don't even think about it, I'm just
constantly switched on.
I can't believe I've done this.
Can't believe I've done this.
I can't believe us.
Suit
trousers. I can't believe I said that. Anyway, moving on.
So that was all.
Oh, we had the hat as well. We had the hat.
Yes. Originally, I got a photo here as well. Originally, we were going to have the hat because we liked the kind of comic thing, but I think this was just a cheap, kind of Ruby's costume one, and I went a bit haywire on the heat gun and the wire inside. It just looked cheap. I was trying to make it not look cheap, and it just didn't match. So henceforth, we just went with that. But it is, I don't know if it is in shot, but we left it in shot when you were in your.
No, we did. I think it was. It was when you're doing at the very end when Scarecrow does his monologue. Before you go to Scarecrow's monologue, you have a look around. I think you have a look around the room. And then you see weapons, and then you see the hat. I think it does come in. Does come in.
Oh, okay.
I mean, personally, I thought it was all right. Actually, personally, I thought it looked cool.
It was I put a thing, and I was like, oh yeah, it looks okay. And then Shane was just like, no, I don't think the hat works. And instantly he was like, I was like, oh, okay, if he's out in there, I was like, we'll go with that.
And that's fair enough. That's fair enough.
But it will, definitely be making its way again, I think. But that was only part one that we briefly touched upon. There was obviously the only other scene then in part 2 of issue 2 was the alleyway scene.
Which... I like the I watched the before and after videos.
Oh yes.
I watched the what you were going to do originally. I tell you what, I'm so glad you made me do that run again. Because me, the shots of me coming through in the really good lighting, which was obviously filmed in a completely different setting.
Yeah,
looked like.
Oh yeah, it looked terrible, didn't it?
Well, it looked really funny. I thought.
But that's that's a good thing about doing a prototype is we know where we are. So I think we've done some lines, we've done some photos in the studio at Screenology then, and then. Obviously wanted to get all these scarecrows and stuff, so we recorded it. So it's just green screen, and then you going from point A to point B. But obviously, me not thinking ahead is we couldn't get the alley wasn't wide enough, so we couldn't get obviously that shot. So we had to tilt it slightly, which is why it looks so stupid in the prototype. And then obviously the lighting was completely different.
But also I think it worked so much better having it on the day and filming it with the lighting. And I was pretty impressed actually that you could overlap.
It's a very interesting technique to do, and it just looks so good. It just looked like what is mad. As long as the lighting's kept the same, then it's fine. There were because I think we filmed about 13 of you running down this alley.
Yes,
but I think there was only 4 that we used because some of them were it was so tedious. Some of them you were obviously this is obviously me I was telling you to do, but waving the sickle around and stuff. But that would overlap with another one. So
the end
animate the frame and everything. But just having those 4 was fine. And then the scene after you've slashed my back and I fall to the ground. And you come closer to the camera. I really wanted to have one just run behind, so you could just get the sense if they've run through the alley. And obviously you see that, you just see the one of you kind of go. And then originally I was going to have Robin on his knees, Scarecrow slice the head off, the head would fall off, and Robin would drop backwards into the coffin. But editing it, you can see it in the prototype as well. It was proving a bit trickier than I thought. But Sam, who was behind the camera that day, he had the great input of why don't you just turn the camera like that? And I was like, you know what? That's fine. Let's do it.
That worked.
See what it's like, and it worked perfectly. the way it goes into the next shot as well. So really, really happy with that. And the lighting, and it was raining and stuff on the shoot, it just added to it. That's, I think that out of the whole thing, obviously I love the whole project as a whole, but I mean that alley stuff, it just looks,
that was so great.
It just looked really nice as well.
We're gonna go back to the alley.
Hell yeah. It's a brilliant alley as well. They've shot there's another great Batman fan film called Living in Crime Alley, filmed by Rob Ayling as well. That was filmed in there, and that's a great one as well. So I think that's originally where I saw it, and I clocked it. It was around the corner from the old Screenology building, and I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah, it felt like weird.
We're using this alley.
It felt weird when you used that as well, because I was like, oh, this is right next to where I used to live. Like literally.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, well, literally, you go out and then right, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then that was where I used to live, and I was like, oh, this is mad. This would have been great if I'd still lived there filming that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think well, I think that's issue 2 covered really, and obviously that's
well, issue 2 issue 2 was so much fun, and so was issue 1, and thank you again for involving me in the project. Like, I really enjoyed being Scarecrow. Hopefully I'd really enjoy being Scarecrow again.
Wow.
Just slide that on the table.
Wow. Obviously I think it's safe to say that we do have more plans for Scarecrow to tell everyone, to officially announce, if you will. Obviously we've got this and the Outlaw tapes we're doing, they're all canon as well. So everything that's said in these tapes has happened at some point in our timeline, which we haven't officially released yet, because I think we need a bit more content and context for that. But we are planning to do some more Scarecrow stuff. I think, safe to say he will appear in the feature at some point or another, and we are planning on doing a little standalone project, which would be really nice to have Scarecrow take the limelight and me to step behind the camera, which is what I like to do every now and then when I'm not always bloody in front of it. But that's another project that's on the bread. I don't know. It's on its way at some point.
It's on the
agenda.
Tracker.
Yeah,
it's on the agenda. It's on
that's
the agenda. That's the one.
Because not just with Scarecrow, but with every single character that we introduce, we want to do some short that involves them as a whole. So it's not like, oh, it's always Batman and Robin. You see, it's always the heroes. All this stuff. Like, no, there's so much like Scarecrow. Like, well, we just talked about it for like however long, but like there's so much lore and history that's been saying. So we need to use that, and that's just one character. It just seems like such a waste to be like, oh, I'm Scarecrow, fear toxin, blah blah blah. Oh, that's one villain done. Let's move on to the next. No, even though that's what we're doing. Yeah, there are like other villains, but you want to flesh it out because there's so much backstory, and obviously the performance that you gave was amazing. And we're just going to flesh upon that with some more cameos by other characters and just build this universe up really, which I think will be exciting, because not that I know, but I know that other channels and stuff are making fan related content, and they have like same characters prop up and stuff. I think with what we're doing and what we aim to do, we're doing it on a big scale. Like, if you think of I don't know, issue 1 as our Iron Man, like if you're comparing it to the MCU type thing, and then obviously everything out after that, it's like slowly tying in like name drop, like in It's Happened Again in issue 1, Roy Harper. Oh, Roy's in there. Yeah, so Roy Harper's in the universe. And then obviously with this one, we introduce more characters. We've got Bruce Wayne / Batman, Artemis, Scarecrow. So they're in the universe, and it'll just like kind of proceed to that. But I think definitely keep your eyes peeled. But so you've obviously been amazing as Scarecrow, but everybody wants to know what other stuff that you've done, and where can they find you? Where can they find you to do some more acting thing? If anybody wants to hire you, so bloody amazing, or if they want to watch any of your stuff, tell us.
If anyone wants to hire me, or anything like that, please do. You can message me at benreesactor@gmail.com if you want. There's no caps or anything. Rees spelled R-E-E-S. That's how you spell my surname. And but if you do want to come see any other performances, I'm a part of Flying Chairs Theatre Company, and on sometime, it was meant to be last year, but sometime in late 2020 or 2021, I'm acting in a show. We've got the rights to the wonderful. We've got the amateur rights to the wonderful play Mojo by Jazz Butterworth. So we'll be performing that. So please come, please. Because we'd really like to perform to a big audience because we've worked quite hard on it. But whenever we're able to perform that, I'm going to be doing that, and hopefully more stuff with Flying Chairs and maybe some more stuff outside of that. But if you're in Bristol, look out. If I am performing in shows, then maybe at the Lightship Theatre. Keep that one in mind. But yeah, and although I do act, I'm also producing that show. I produced a show previously, and I directed. I produced a series of short plays with Flying Chairs Theatre at the Lightship Theatre back in November 2019. Wow, over a year ago, and directed one of the shows. So yeah, although I do like to act, I also like to write. Although there's nothing done yet as such. Although there's nothing I've got published, I do like to write a lot, and I do write plays and novels just in my spare time, not to be published, but just for fun.
Yeah, just for the sake. Well, obviously that's what you did as well with Scarecrow, like we said, and it made its way into like an official stuff. Like that was you. And with this Scarecrow solo thing, I've given you the reins on that basically. So obviously that's the character, and that's your character. So you run with the Scarecrow. Any other plugins you want to chuck in? This is your time. Chuck them in. Or you think you're all good?
Usually there would be more. There's not much I can do at the moment. But yeah, Flying Chairs Theatre. Give them a like on Facebook, please. And any of their shows, feel free to come and see, because we do work really hard on the shows we do. And if you're at Fear, if you go to Fear at Avon Valley Screen Park, I might be there. Depending on whether or not.
So what you're saying? So what you're saying is, if you reappear there, that theoretically fans of Outlaw films can actually be scared by the Scarecrow.
Yes, actually go and be scared in person by me if I'm fortunate enough.
How brilliant would that be?
That would be, oh my gosh. If you like the performance, then go along to this scare maze, and my gosh, you will be. I will make you.
I reckon that might be something we'd have to do,
because I'm going to do.
That'll be something
you'll
that
have to do. No, because I'll get you. I'll get you.
I think we might have to take Robin to one of them.
Robin!
I'm not scared of anything now. I've got a Scarecrow again.
No, people do dress up. You should go.
Yeah.
Like, although that is just something acting is really fun and genuine, you should go to that. They've got 5 horror mazes, and they've got rides there and stuff. They've got food. It's really good actually, and they've got a street scene that scare you as well.
Oh, nice.
But other than that, yeah, Mojo at the Lightship Theatre, Bristol-based people. Keep that in mind, please.
Cool. I'll chuck them all in the description as well for anyone wanting to see more of Ben's stuff or anything like that. But I think that's our time.
Well, it's been lovely chatting with you, Luke.
Of course,
thank you for having me on for an interview.
It's all right. You're the first of many. Hopefully, we're planning the next one to do is based on our Doom video. So we're having an interview with the wonderful John Johansson, who played the Slayer, and he made the Slayer as well as some of the props. And yeah, that'll be the next one then, I think. But if these obviously appear to be well and decent, then we're going to do a hell of a lot more. But I will let you get on with the rest of your lovely evening, Ben. And
you too.
We'll see you guys later. Like, comment, and subscribe, and promote us as well, because that's all great. And we'll see you in the next video.
Hope you have a great evening, Luke. Nice to see you.
And you. Bye.